It's the Exit 52 podcast presented by Jimmy's Seafood. It is Thanksgiving week 2022. And gentlemen, I am here to declare one thing before we get started of all the things we're going to talk about. Maryland basketball is back. Back. 23rd in the country, 5-0, all 5 wins by double digits. Absolutely beat the pants off St. Louis and Miami.
100 burger, right?
Did not get hundo in either
Did
game.
not hundo
Got to
burger
88,
either game.
got in the 90s in the looked like a potential hundo burger in the first game. Incredible stuff. And I want people to know that listen to this show. Come on down to the Xfinity Center in the next couple weeks. The Terps host Illinois on a Friday. They host UCLA on a Wednesday. It should sound like an old school Maryland crowd again, is what I believe. Is what I believe should happen. And I hope the people can put some time into doing that. What a team.
The UCLA game being on a Wednesday is kind of a bummer. I mean, obviously, like you can't. If it was a Friday or Saturday, that place would be rocking. Wednesday, it should be too.
Situation because it's right around exams, so they had to get the game in like right before they go off for exams, and you can't play during exams. So, but Illinois on a Friday. I mean, Illinois is a top 20 team,
and they definitely want to make it at 9 p.m. to accommodate the UCLA crowd. So it's a late game in College Park.
Nah, that's a bummer,
yeah, which does make it from a traffic perspective does honestly probably make it easier for people to get to the game.
Oh yeah,
it makes it a late night, but it's
no longer
trade off.
Yeah.
And
trade-offs on the back end. Did you guys watch any of the Terps this weekend?
Oh, yeah.
A
lot of it.
So little.
The
takeaways.
I like the video of Willard in the locker room being like, what was he saying?
Awesome video.
He was like, no. Like, we're not doing this. Like, we're not doing this. And then they were just like, fuck it. Like, we're going. It seems like they really like him. It seems like they really, really, really enjoy him. So,
yeah, they definitely seem very bought in there. I love that he was like, this is just a nice trophy for the office. We're going for bigger things. That's injected into the vein stuff for Maryland fans.
Yeah. Takeaways though. Let's see. I did watch the game before. Who'd they play?
Binghamton.
Binghamton. I knew it was like a New York area school. Julian Reese looked like an absolute man possessed against that team. But of course, okay, it's a small school. They just don't have somebody that matches up against him physically. So I was kind of keyed in on watching him in those following 2 games against St. Louis and Miami. And he just continued to be a big boy inside. Like, he's a great upcoming player. I think he's making that sophomore jump. Dante Scott obviously looks great with the weight he's lost. He looks athletic. He's throwing things down. And they started to hit some threes, which they weren't necessarily doing against Binghamton and some of those other games against cupcake teams. So, yeah. And defensively, they've got juice. They know what they're doing. They seem like they're playing like a unit. And then offensively, it just looks like they have a semblance of like what they want to accomplish on possessions. You know what I mean? It just looks like they have a game plan on every possession in terms of what they want to do. They don't just like have one guy moving around and then dribbling out the shot clock. And then they just seem like well thought out possessions. So, I mean, we want to leave the past in the past, and this isn't to like knock anybody else down, but that seems like a night and day difference between the Terps we've seen in the last handful of years and so far in this small sample size.
It feels like the energy on the defensive end fuels the energy on the offensive end. Like they get after it defensively early and often from the opening whistle, and it just and they finally sort of showed off a little bit more efficiency offensively in these last 2 games where they really weren't hitting any outside shots. And as you said, Banks, in the first few, and that was fine against those teams. You can get in the paint, you can just dominate them because you have more athleticism, you have more talent. But against St. Louis, team that everyone thinks is going to be in the NCAA tournament, and Miami is a team that Jim Larrañaga gets on the bubble or over every single year. That was in the Sweet 16 last year. It's very nice 2 results.
And I texted you guys during the Binghamton game, and again, like we've said, it's just Binghamton. But like Willard, I mean, him on the sideline, we're used to Turgeon again, kind of pointing and yelling and doing everything, and it seemed like Willard kind of was just. They'd call their play or their set or whatever, and he just lets them go. He's not yelling. He's not screaming. He's not pointing. He's not doing any of that stuff. So, again, just like I said, it seems like The guys like him, they trust him, and like you said, things are going smoothly. Like you're not getting those bumps that you would maybe think you're getting in the first couple games of a new head coach with, a team that has some guys who have been there for a while. So yeah, it's interesting. Juju looks good. He looks taller too. It has to be his hair. He looks bigger. Like you said, Dante Scott is just like a physical freak. And it does seem like he's been there for a while. My buddy was like, that guy played like with like Gravis, and you couldn't convince him otherwise. I don't think he's that old, but I'm excited again. I mean, it's I think it took Willard 5 games to get ranked. It took Turgeon 4 years. I think I saw 4 seasons, something like that. And obviously, in much different situations with the way the teams with the team that they came into. But again, I mean, I don't know how you can't not be excited. And you were still getting the people being like, "Oh, well, wait till Big Ten play. Wait till..." Just have fun with this. Like this is fun right now. Like there were no expectations coming into the season. You blink and now they're 23rd in the country. It's like, just have some fun, enjoy this. And again, it's like it's okay to be like, hey, this is fun. And Willard seems like he's doing a good job right now. Maybe they'll lose 9 of their next 10 Big Ten games. That's fine. It's whatever. Again, like just take this and go with it. Like this seems like it's going to be a fun team, a fun season. And again, it started off very well. Couldn't start off any hotter. So, and like you said, with like marquee matchups coming up too, like these are big names coming into the building. So it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, if you're like a New York area fan, they have Tennessee at Barclays in a few weeks. It's like a very fun schedule. It's 2 things I'll say, having watched every game except for Sunday because I had other Maryland duties, so I was unable to. Dante Scott, really one of his big struggles last season was he lost the outside shot. He totally lost his ability to shoot the 3, which was a little bit of a moneymaker for him in the COVID year. And he shot the ball pretty well as a freshman as well. He really lost his jumper, and I think that affected all parts of his game. He didn't shoot it great the first 2 games. He's now, shot it really well from everywhere. He's over 50% from the field. He's over 40% from 3 on the season. He's gotten that back. And if he is going to shoot like that for the entire year, they really have some pieces in place with Don Carey, who should be a 37-40% 3-point shooter. Hakeem Hart, who's gotten better as a shooter every single year. Jameer Young's a little streaky, but can also shoot to really spread the floor around Julian Reese and do a bunch of different things. The other thing is, in an era where they talk about positionless basketball, and I'm not saying the Terps don't have a ton of flexibility with size and things like that. They almost weirdly have traditional players at all 5 spots. Like Jameer Young is clearly a point guard. Don Carey is a shooting guard in a world where everybody is a combo guard. Hakeem Hart is a perfect 3, who can also handle the ball, so he can do ball handling duties, but he's like your 3. Dante Scott is the perfect modern game power forward in college. He's 6'8". He can defend the post, but he can step out and shoot. And then Julian Reese, in this day and age, where he maybe it's a power 4, and maybe he's a 4 at the next level, probably a center at the next level because of how it goes. He's your center, and he's like your rock. The question is, do they have depth? And they've gotten some decent contributions from guys off the bench so far. But I think that top 5, if those guys stay out of foul trouble, is just a really, really good 5. And they've gotten some good minutes from Jahari Young backing up at the point. Patrick Emilian's a guy that plays really hard. That's fills in the post there. So they put together, Coach Wood has put together a starting 5 in his opening season that it feels like can go out there and kind of throw a lot of different things at you in terms of who's going to be the guy on that given night. It gives them a lot of different options. And I think that's been really awesome to see. And the offense has been super efficient. And like I said before, they've just very much gotten after it defensively. And I think you're a Maryland fan, you see that type of defensive intensity. I think that's something that you're like, okay, even in the games where, maybe the offense is not going as well, we can hang our hat on this part of the game. Like we can really defend, and that can help you win some of the sloggy Big Ten games against Wisconsin and some of the and Minnesota and Penn State, where even if you've got to win at 51-49, you can win that game because you can really lock it down on the other end. Or you can beat a team like Iowa who really gets up and down and plays well offensively because you're able to shut them down. I think that's a really good place to start in your first season because that's going to travel every single year no matter what your personnel is, your defensive intensity. Whether you can be as good as they are, we'll see. But like you said, RDT, I mean, they could go through a stretch here where they struggle, and and that's fine. But I think you're seeing an identity formed, and that's something that is just, we talk about that like almost with the Orioles, where like you see like them bought in on a certain culture and identity and philosophy, and it seems like Kevin Willard has done that in a very short order with a roster where he inherited most of the players or brought them in from the outside. It's not like, I think the only guy he coached prior to this is Jahari Long, who was at Seton Hall, but it's not like 4 Seton Hall guys transfer down here or something to like, he's recruited some of these guys, but to come in and bring them all together is pretty cool. And it's a lot of local guys too. I mean, you have 3 guys from Maryland in the starting lineup. The other 2 guys are from Philly. So that's a cool bit as well.
And that's the thing. I mean, we've talked about that for years, not just in basketball, but it's like, football obviously is the big one, but like get these homegrown guys, keep them here. Like, let's just keep them here. Like the good things happen when the kids stay home. So,
and they've got 3 lined up.
That was big in their recruiting class.
Next year's recruiting class, which when we talked previously around basketball, kind of hinted at, because I technically, obviously, as a employee can't talk about it, but you have those 3 guys, Deshaun Harris-Smith, Jamie Kaiser, and John Lamoth. John Lamoth from Baltimore, and Kaiser and DHS are both from sort of like the Fairfax, Northern Virginia area. It's huge to get all those guys in, and all right now are powerhouse high schools. Kaiser's at IMG, Lamoth is at St. Francis, and DHS is at Paul V. So you're kind of getting those inroads into the big high schools and the big AAU teams. They're all from Team Takeover and Team Durant and those type of places. So it's been a nice 3 months for Kevin Willard, and I hope it continues because, as we've talked about on here before, I think the area is much more fun when Maryland basketball is good. I think there's just a little bit more of a connection throughout the entire region than like the Wizards would bring if they were really good. It kind of becomes the area's basketball team that if you're in DC, you can kind of connect with it. And right now, I mean, Georgetown is terrible. So it's really an opportunity to kind of take, people who maybe would lean towards the Georgetown, make them Maryland fans. Then I think obviously in Baltimore, Eastern Shore, those people are all leaning towards Maryland anyway. So been a fun few weeks and bigger fish to fry for the Terps, but very, very fun so far.
And they got Coppin on Friday, the Juan Dixon Bowl. And then
the Juan Dixon Bowl, yeah.
And then, I mean, we always used to crap on the ACC Big Ten, being like, give us Duke, give us UNC. We got the perfect opponent this year. I mean, you could not pick a better team.
I mean, Louisville is it's legitimately ugly, and it's fascinating. It's actually fascinating, and then we'll jump into the Ravens. But this is kind of interesting, I think, to talk about. For like, you talk about 2 schools that are basketball schools: Louisville, and Kentucky. And Kentucky, they're rivals. Both those are basketball schools. Like, there's no doubt about it. But whatever. Kentucky's played pretty well in football. Louisville had Lamar Jackson. They're basketball schools. Right now, Louisville, I watched their game last night. It's tough. Like, Arkansas went like on a 24-0 run or something and just ran them out of the Maui, the Lackawanna Civic Center. And then today, they were like 30 in the first half.
Yeah, it's bad. Who's their coach?
And then Kentucky, it's Kenny Payne, who was an alum, was an assistant with the Knicks. Danny Manning is there as an assistant.
Danny.
As is Nolan Smith, former Duke player.
Good.
So they have kind of an interesting staff. And then Kentucky has lost to Michigan State and then lost to Gonzaga, and everyone's mad at Calipari.
Damn, you hate to see that too. That sucks.
Yeah, you hate to see that. So 2 interesting situations, but yeah, I mean, it's also a weird trappy game because you have ACC Big Ten. They're back at home. They're kind of fighting for their pride. If they have anything in there, they're going to come out and play really hard in that game.
Danny Manning revenge game.
Yeah, I guess
technically,
but fired up.
I think he left here on good terms, though.
He did. I mean, I think he did a nice job stewarding a tough situation.
Oh, 100%.
The Baltimore Football Ravens. You guys did an instant analysis podcast that people should go listen to on Sunday. My apologies for not being able to see it. I saw 0.0 of the game as I was in Ithaca, New York, in 8-degree real feel. Unfortunately, watching my Maryland soccer Terrapins lose to Cornell 2-1 to be eliminated from the NCAA tournament. Shout out to the fellas. Great season. Big Ten champions and a very good group of people. So tough one to stomach. But if you want to hear your guys' analysis on the game, make sure to go back and listen. I went through and watched the highlights today. I mean, I guess it's just one of those where you just sort of flush it and you move on with a win. But you would have hoped that was more impressive. Tough weather conditions and the defense continues to be good. I think as we've talked about the last few weeks, and I'll let you guys expand on this take if you would like, this feels like now a defense first group. And if they make that their identity and can get the offense just a little more in gear, I think they're going to be tough to beat. Any thoughts?
Yeah. No, you the way you summed it up was exactly what we had said in the podcast. Like, win is a win.
We're so in tune. We're just so in sync. It's Timberlake, it's Chazé, it's the other guy, Lance Bass. We'll let you guys determine who's which in sync member. We're so in sync.
Yeah, it's just, again, you take it, you move on, you just kind of, there's nothing that you really take away from that film except for the wide receiver play from Demarcus Robinson. Is that his name, correct? And again, Banks and I talked about it. Again, you would have hoped that they put on a better show against a team that is really, really struggling. And again, it's like DJ Moore at 24 yards receiving, Deontay Foreman at 24 yards rushing. It's like, if you do that, you're going to beat them every time. And it doesn't take much. But yeah, the defense is really rounding into form. And I went back and I watched some of the highlights too. And like we said, it was Banks's term, it was a rock fight up until 8 minutes left in the game. And then it was like, oh, then the Panthers were like, that's right, we're not supposed to be here. And they just, Baker was Baker and Marlon got his pick. And Peters had the one, the strip. And then it was just over from there. And like we said, it turned into like, man, the Ravens may win this like 6-3 or like, 9-6 or something like that, into like, oh, the Ravens may cover this spread right now. So yeah, again, it's the defense is playing very well. The offense is struggling. I don't think that's a secret or anything, but you got to hope that, Andrew's going to get healthier. They're going to get some of their guys back eventually. And, maybe they'll round into form. But like you said, you could not ask for more than what the defense is giving you right now. Roquan and Patrick Queen are, I mean, they're unbelievable right now. They're playing fantastic. Patrick Queen especially. And again, you can directly complement that to the Roquan Smith trade.
Yeah, and I think Kyle Hamilton has really elevated him. He's the talk of Twitter today, even with the impending injury that I don't know that we have an update on. But
I was gonna say, is there anything on that? I know it's still early in the week.
Still, nothing definitive or anything. It doesn't sound like it's serious, all things considered. But I think my entire timeline has been filled up with like Pro Football Focus, like he's the number one, this number 15 of all players the entire year, like just like all these kinds of things that you can take PFF with a grain of salt, or you could take it as your Bible. But he's definitely showing things mid-game where he's just like, wow, that play just got blown up because he just dominated the wide receiver trying to block him. I mean, he put DJ Moore on the ground on multiple occasions there. And DJ Moore has every reason to kind of just go through the motions and not really expect a safety to blow through him. But that's the kind of player that Kyle Hamilton is. In terms of like the offense and the listless performance, like the points output was pretty pitiful. I mean, their only touchdown was on a short field. And overall, they didn't move the ball all that great. But I think it was one of those games where any drives they started to put together, they just made one fatal mistake to kind of kill the drive. Like numerous drives ended on the fringes of field goal range, or they got into field goal range and then they took a holding penalty or a sack, or just a lot of dumb shit that's kind of fixable. So it's one of those things where you're a little bit on alert because the offense has not, especially the passing game, has really struggled for the past month and change. And Sunday's performance did absolutely nothing to kind of put that to rest. And the run game didn't perform the way that it has the run game has really bailed them out to a large extent. And they didn't do that all that much on Sunday either. But it's just kind of one of those games where you kind of want to move on from it and not overthink it. But yeah, like the game was close and it was 3-3, and you're just like, holy shit, like why is this still a game? Because if you watch the game flow and you watch the game, you're like, okay, the Ravens are the better team here. At some point, they're gonna win out and do their thing. And then really it was like a strip, the strip by Peters that made the difference to kind of put them in control and in position of the game, which when you're in a game like that, you're holding your breath as the Ravens, hoping the Panthers don't make some, freakish, impact game turning play. And we're the ones who did it. So at that, like you said, Eric, like at that point, it was like Panthers were like, oh, what are we doing here? That's right.
We are the Panthers.
And they just folded.
Mm-hmm.
So not a game that you're going to walk away from feeling too excited about, but again, like the defense was fucking awesome, and they've been awesome for a lot of weeks now. Like no team has gained more than 350 yards against them since the Miami game. They're giving up like 278 per game since that Miami game. That would rank second in the league if you were to just compare it against the year-long averages. They're third in points if you kind of look at it in the same vein. So like this defense is playing at a level in which you don't need your offense to be the offense that we saw the first month of the season per se, but that offense is in them, or at least a shell of it. Rashad Bateman not being there hurts, but like you've got the potential of a great offense in there somewhere. And as long as the defense continues to play the way that they have the past like 8 weeks, they're going to give the Ravens a ton of chances to win any game that they're in. So, I mean, we've got the schedule in front of us. We all know it. And we're just going to try to, get to the finish line at 13-4, 14-3, whatever, and see where the chips fall. And then you go into the tournament and just see what happens. And the Ravens have as good a team as anybody's. So that's where we're at.
This is a really heroic performance with you talking as a dog just walks all over you. And is now looking at the screen. This is electric stuff.
Camera as we speak. Yeah, he's doing what he does.
I think you're absolutely right in the sense that there feels like a path towards the cliche of, if we can put both together at the same time, it has the look of a team that can go really, really far in the playoffs. And that's a good thing to have. Both sides of the team have shown the ability to perform at a super high level. And I think the defensive questions were there. I want to talk specifically about Kyle Hamilton. Like I said, I didn't get a chance to see much of what he did Sunday, but I just want to give us some props. We give ourselves props a fair amount on this show at times, but that freaked out about Kyle Hamilton in the first 3 or 4 weeks of the year. This is a great lesson in allow the rookie to figure it out. Like it was going to take some time. He had to figure out a role with, the starting safeties clearly defined at the beginning of the year. They were trying to figure out how to use him best. And now he looks like this, is this guy one of the top 5 best players in the draft, but he's not getting taken because he's a safety kind of guy that the Ravens got lower than they should. Like, people should need to just be patient. Like, just be patient. And this guy looks like someone that could be at the center of things for them for a decade, which is awesome. And it's the same thing now with Patrick Queen. I think, maybe Patrick Queen by himself now a few years in is not going to be like a first team all pro like everyone wants every middle linebacker that's ever been drafted by the Ravens to be. But they found the guy next to him that unleashes his best potential, and you see the type of havoc he can wreak. It's like the steadiness of Roquan Smith allows the havoc of Patrick Queen, and that is a very, very good recipe for the Ravens in the middle of the field, behind a defensive line that I think has been pretty solid all season long. And that's what, and we've talked about the secondary talent. It was all about figuring out those other pieces. And now you see a Ravens defense that's really flourishing. And like you said, you get a couple more guys. Mark Andrews just came back. They found a little bit unlikely when he was on. If you can get that combination back together and you can eventually, figure out the wide receiver position, however you be, the Ravens look like a really, and maybe that's just going to be your weakness. Whatever. Every team's got some weakness. So they've just gotta, keep getting better on offense. And if that offense could do anything behind this defense, I think they're going to be a really big contender. With looking at the AFC, you just continue to, I don't see a team that the Ravens, if they can put it all together, can't beat. There isn't like that juggernaut team out there. Even the, people have thrown the Bills in there and they've, kind of come back to the pack. Throw the Chiefs out there. You watch them. They look beatable. So it feels wide open, and it feels wide open really in both conferences. I think it's going to be a total crapshoot when we get into the postseason of who's going to come out of either one of these leagues. I really don't think there's like, the 14, even the Eagles who, have the great record. They're not more than, a touchdown favorite against anybody that they're going to bring in the first week of the playoffs. Probably. I mean, maybe if they end up, whatever, 15-1 or 16-1 or whatever it would be. I don't know.
You did talk about the havoc, like we can all see the havoc that Patrick Queen is causing. There's one person on this podcast who cannot see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't.
What was up with that?
It's not. Yeah, Taylor, are you aware of this?
I was aware of that. I did read that social media. I meant to text you guys in our group chat about it, but I did not. But I did read that news.
Have any update? Is there any?
I don't think so. So for those who aren't in tune with what we're talking about, Patrick Queen blocked me on Twitter. I don't know that I've ever said anything bad about him other than maybe once earlier this season. I put a funny GIF up of him, of like the kid whiffing on catching a bouncy ball because he was dropping interceptions left and right. Like, I mean, that's just, we're going to do some jokes on the internet. It's like, sorry. But other than, like, I've not really been all that critical of him. Many people have been.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, like those criticisms haven't necessarily always been off base, but big picture, like I think people have noticed a few of his bad plays and haven't really accepted or given credit to his great plays. And he's made a lot of great plays recently. And yeah, it's, Roquan Smith plays into that a bit, but he was playing great in weeks leading up to that trade too.
Mm-hmm.
And I do think Kyle Hamilton's like a factor in that too, because Hamilton is, he's listed as a safety, but he's maybe playing a third of his snaps in that position. Like he's playing in the slot. He's playing, off the edge a little bit, he's blitzing, like he's doing all kinds of different things. Like he's a utility knife. Like he does everything. So I think that there's just an attitude between, those three we're talking about now, Kyle Hamilton, Roquan Smith, and Patrick Queen. They're just flying to the football right now. And then, what Marcus Peters and Marlon Humphrey are capable, covering outside. You've got Marcus Williams on the way, and then the front four have been awesome, where you've also got this mixture of, accomplished veterans and young pass rushers that are rotating in and out, that are staying fresh. You're getting David Ojabo in the mix there, but like Tyus Bowser was one of the best players on the field quietly on Sunday. And, Calais Campbell, I feel like you're always laughing at him because he's like chasing a quarterback at 6'9", and they're just like, oh fuck, I have to get rid of this because there's no avoiding this mammoth of a man. And then,
JPP.
always not necessarily getting after the quarterback, but he's being disruptive. He's doing some things. It's not showing up on the stat sheet. And JPP has made his imprint. Like he had the pick towards the end of that game. So there's just so many guys on defense that you can't even fit them all on the field at a given point in time, but they're just rotating in and out. And I just don't know how you game plan for it. It's just an embarrassment of riches. He's got, Mike McDonald has all the toys in the world, and he deserves a ton of credit for what he's turned around from those early performances.
He's another guy.
They're doing a great job.
People again, like you said, have really crapped on Queen. And same thing with Hamilton. People were ready to give him back to Michigan 2 weeks in after the Dolphins game, being like, this isn't working. It's not, he's not Wink, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, you can't overreact to this stuff. And again, and you can see why. It's like, it takes time for guys to mesh. It takes time for them to get comfortable, get healthy, stuff like that. And now it's like, oh, now you're seeing, oh yeah, this is why they brought him in. This is why they get the guys like, a kid genius. So it's like, maybe don't overreact after 2 weeks, everyone. Like, shit happens, guys get hurt, and again, you just get more comfortable. So yeah, McDonald was they were ready to tie him to one of the boats in the inner harbor and just send him back, and he has shut everybody up.
It's huge. It's big time. And this should be another game that the Ravens control from start to finish this week. 3-7 Jaguars, 7-3 Ravens in Jacksonville, 1:00 Sunday. You guys want to guess the announcers, or did you see it?
I did not.
Didn't see it.
Go ahead. CBS.
Gumble.
No.
Okay.
Who'd they have last week?
They had a Fox crew last week.
That's right.
Kevin Kugler and Mark Sanchez.
Mark Sanchez, yeah.
What's his name? What's his name? I can't think of his name. I don't know. I have his name. I don't know.
God, this is tough.
Go. Who is it?
It is Andrew Catalan
That's who I
and
was
James Lofton.
I was gonna say Catalan. It's 100% who I was gonna say. Damn it.
Yeah, there you have it.
Well, also remember when we were like 2 weeks into the season, like Jags are real. Jags are winning this division.
Yeah, same old Jags. They absolutely stink.
I love the Jags so much, man. They're my favorite thing. Well, everything about the AFC South is my favorite, but God bless the Jags.
You are a man of the AFC South.
Now, the Ravens are only 4-point favorites here. That should be noted.
They've got skill guys. They've got good players.
I just don't agree. I think they stink. I could be wrong.
They do. I think they do stink, but they've got guy like ETN is awesome. And
yeah, he is.
We've said this the last couple weeks, like, oh, you got to be careful because X team has a running back who can come out of the backfield, catch the ball, and he can, he'll make guys miss, and then the Ravens just absolutely shut them down. So it's like, okay, well, now we'll see. Again, I mean, I think this is a game where you want Trevor Lawrence to throw the ball. You want him to be throwing the ball 35, 38 times, because if he throws the ball more than 35 times, the Ravens have 2 picks. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's just that's going to happen. If he throws the ball like 15 to 18 times, then I think the Ravens are in trouble, because again, that means they're likely pounding the rock, or just getting some defensive scores or something. But again, Christian Kirk, I don't think Marlon Humphrey is like tossing and turning at night thinking about Christian Kirk, or again anyone else. Evan Ingram doesn't really scare you. ETN really, really is the only guy on that team that is like you got to circle him. You got to find him before every play. And even on the defense, who'd they draft number 1? Trayvon Walker, was that his name? Dude out of Georgia. He's really the only name on that defense. That it doesn't, nothing about the Jags really scares me, or should scare any Ravens fans. I think this is going to be, I think, a walk in the park. But again, like Banks, like you and I talked about, all they do is play weird games against the Jags. That's all they do. The face mask game, with no time left on the clock. The London game.
There was a Monday night one and
Monday night one where Ray Lewis.
Did
Ray? No, that was the Seahawks, I think. I remember the Monday night one. It was like 9-3 or something. It was like an LSU Alabama game.
So gross.
Really bad. Really bad. Yeah, but I don't. That line doesn't really match up. Again, I think they have some skill, but I don't think they're very good at all.
Now I'm kind of on my.
You seem a little nervous. You seem a little nervous by the 4.5, Banks.
Yeah, it's not about necessarily winning the game. I just don't know that it's going to be a romp. Just you still have the taste of us not taking care of probably a lesser Carolina team at home, and now you go on the road. And you look down the schedule at what the Jaguars have done. So they've got 7 losses. They lost by 6 to Washington. They lost by 8 to Philly. They lost by 7 to Houston. They lost by 7 to the Colts. They lost by 6 to the Giants. They lost by 4 to Denver, and they lost by 10 to Kansas City. So they've only lost 1 game by both, by 2 scores. And it was in Kansas City against a team that's, for my money, it's the best team in the league. Kansas City right now has probably the rights to call themselves the best team, at least in the AFC. So you kind of look at that picture like that, and it's like, this team is not just going to roll over. I mean, they have a plus 11 point differential, which is kind of stunning. So there's, a bunch of teams in the league that you look at and you're like, oh, that's a good football team. And they can't say the same thing. Like, the Vikings have negative point differential. So, I mean, maybe that just goes to show that means nothing, but it's going to be a little bit of it might be another messy one.
Closer than the experts think, to quote Lee Corso.
I think the Ravens will win by a touchdown, but I don't know that it's going to be a walk in the park.
Sure. Predictions for this one. Banks, you can start it off.
Ravens 20, Jaguars 13.
I'll say 27-10, Ravens.
I'm going to say 23-7. 23-7. 1 o'clock Sunday, after just a fiesta of sports happening this week. Tons of college football, the World Cup, NFL football. You have all your NBA and NHL going on. Incredible time. College basketball feast week. Incredible time of the year. And that time of the year factors into our starting five draft presented by Fed Thrill. Fed Thrill, it's holiday season. Whatever occasion you're trying to get a gift for, use 20% off, use the promo code X52 to get 20% off your Fed Thrill sunglasses. I saw they're doing some Black Friday and Cyber Monday stuff. So make sure to check in. Sure, there's some good deals there as well. So go to their social media, their website, all those type of things, and buy your sunglasses. Last week, before we taped the show, we started watching PTI's Turkeys of the Year, which is something that Pardon the Interruption does every year, kind of under the radar on the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. That, like, when you're in middle school and high school, like all of us were, when this show was like really coming up, was like a perfect time to, like, you got back from school or you were off or whatever, and you watched the Turkeys of the Year. I am now recording PTI tomorrow on my Fubo TV to make sure that I see the Turkeys of the Year.
I think I'm going to do that too.
I actually turned on PTI today to make sure I didn't miss it. Kornheiser was in garb, but they did not do the Turkeys of the Year. So obviously it's normally Wednesday, so I was just making sure. I didn't know if they, were preempted for basketball or something.
What was the garb this year?
I don't know what
Pilgrim?
the hell he had on. He had it looked like he was like dressed as a turkey, but it was a weird costume. I almost couldn't tell what it was. It was very bizarre.
I got to find this. I'm going to look on their Twitter.
So we are going to do our Exit 52 starting five draft presented by Fed Thrill. Turkeys. What is that?
I don't know. Here, thanks. This is great listening.
I mean, what is he in that? It's very bizarre. And the hat is weird. The hat looks like he's going to the Preakness.
He's a caption and a pilgrim or something.
The caption is Tony's turkey costume looks like blank. Oh, they did their turkeys today. They did their turkeys today.
Oh, no.
Official.
I didn't see it. I thought I turned on the show and didn't see it. Oh, I guess they did it early because I had it on late. Normally they do it near the end of the show.
2 hours ago, they said tune in at 5:30 Eastern to watch our Turkeys of the Year.
Horrible. I wonder if they're rerunning. I'm looking it up right now.
They're going to throw it on YouTube or something.
Yeah,
you'll find it.
Also, kind of depressing. They have 1.1 million followers, 59 likes on that tweet.
Yeah, I don't know if it resonates in the social media.
It should. You would think. It's Tony.
Yeah.
Uncle Tony.
Yeah. Uncle Tony needs to be on social.
Tony. I love him.
Turkeys of the Year. RDT, you have the first pick. Wow. I have the second pick. Banks, you have the wraparound to open the draft. Start off, RDT, your number one Turkey of the Year.
I would love to trade this pick.
Interesting.
I don't know. I'll take an easy one. We'll go Kyrie.
Okay, he's on my list.
Was on my list.
He's just a turkey. I mean, sorry you don't like my people, Kyrie. Half of my people.
Oh,
I don't know.
There it is.
Well, it's like, I mean, you could pick him for a couple different reasons, but
He's had a difficult year, that's for sure.
these fucking
He's had a
Duke,
difficult decade.
yeah, these fucking
mean-
Duke people, man. LeBron carries
Yeah.
him to one championship, and the guy thinks he's just like,
Mm.
Kyrie did
course.
make a significant shot, Matt, but
yeah, but sure he did, but I don't know. Kyrie sucks. And like it stinks because I was talking to a buddy over the summer, and it's like he's arguably one of the top 3 like finishers at the rim ever. Like, like him.
he's
getting
also
it.
has amazing. He has an
Oh.
amazing handle. He has such a good handle.
And then but then and then he just opens his mouth,
you
and you're
doing?
like,
It's Turkey's the year. I don't give a fuck about his handle.
No, I'm just saying that's what makes it. It does. I agree with RT. That makes it worse. He's so unlikable that you
Mhm.
can't enjoy anything about his game because you just hate him when you're watching him.
Yep.
It's he should be like a very exciting player. It's the reason why he sold so many shoes initially. Like
Mhm.
I think he was a guy that people resonated with, like kids resonated with, because he's fun to watch play. 6'2", 6'3", dribbles around. He makes
Drew.
step backs. Uncle Drew was a very good
From
advertising
Australia.
thing. But yeah, he stinks. He was very high on my list. Very high on my list.
He's my number 1 overall seed. So congrats, Kyrie. You stink.
Good pick.
Gobble gobble.
With the second pick, and I would have taken this guy number 1 overall. But Kyrie's certainly a worthy number 1. I'm taking Kanye West. Absolute jabron in all ways, shape, or form. He is deservingly getting canceled right now. He is getting all of the. By the way, Karma is a cat. Karma is a fucking cat. And Karma is destroying Kanye West on behalf of our Queen Taylor Swift. Everything about this is great. He's a bad guy. He's been a bad guy for a long time. People keep taking his side. And now absolutely gotten sent to the wolves, losing all the money. See ya, Kanye, you turkey.
12 years ago today, he released My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy.
Freaking unbelievable album. He's just ruining it. He's just ruining all his incredible music.
That album is Kyrie's finishing at the rim and handles.
That album has no skips.
No,
But
none.
he is a turkey. An absolute turkey. So happy to pick him.
It was 1A, 1B with me and him. Those were the first 2 people I wrote down.
Yep. Happy to pick him. Thanks.
I have a number of things on my board where you could like take multiple people or persons, and like it's a matter of who I want to single out in terms of a given thing. So I'm going to take Jimmy Haslam, owner of the Cleveland Browns. Absolute turkey for
pick.
Trading for Deshaun Watson. I forget what the exact trade was. Was it 2 first-round picks? And
something
more than anything, giving him a fully guaranteed gigantic contract for a player that hadn't played in a year because he had, we don't have to dive into the allegations, but the allegations are the allegations, and things continue to come out. And as they continue to come out, they say, we're behind this guy. We support this guy. He's been a great guy. I don't care what you're telling me in terms of your investigations, and numerous victims coming out and saying what they're saying. The Browns, the way they handled that entire thing was just absolute turkery. Is that a word?
It was Turkish.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah. So, Jimmy Haslam. And you
Didn't have him, but it's a good pick.
I thought you said Jim Haslett at first, and I was like, I didn't think he's done anything too bad.
But
Jim Haslett.
Yeah. They
XFL coach?
Like Deshaun Watson also kind of a turkey, but like he's been a turkey for a long time. So I'm trying to like nail it down to this year. And I think like, okay, bad guy, like tons of evidence, bad guy. It's like worse to have evidence and be like, that's my guy. Like it's unbelievable the way that they handled that entire thing.
Mm-hmm.
And they like somebody like that, you shouldn't have to have like trade all these first round picks. Like they mortgaged their entire future for a guy they weren't sure was going to see the field anytime soon for them. And he's, serving this long suspension. And I think it's wildly ambitious to think that he's just going to show up on the field after not playing for a year and 3/4 and do anything impactful this year. He may not next year or ever again. Like, you take that much time off, like you're talented enough, like maybe Mike Vick, he kind of found it after a couple of years of being back, but like, was he really the same? I mean, there were some flashes, there was like one season maybe, but like not a franchise quarterback long term after that. So Jimmy Hasslem's a turkey.
Got another pick
on the wraparound. I'm taking Phil Mickelson, big time turkey this year.
Wow,
gigantic turkey.
He was on my list.
He started, I mean, he kicked it off in January. That was Riviera, where his comments spilled out about the whole thing with Live Golf and how the Saudis and all that stuff. This has kind of turned into a very like semi-political turkeys of the year, but like it is what it is.
It's not going away.
Go.
Yeah, like Phil Mickelson saying what he said and then going back and forth about whether he said it, like not really apologizing it for whatsoever, then disappearing and then joining Live Golf, which, hey, like, you know, a lot of people did it and, you know, I wouldn't really commend it or support it, but a lot of people got paid a lot of money to do it. So like some people, I don't knock it, but the way Phil went about it, huge turkey. Huge turkey.
Good pick. Phil was a clincher this year and killed a lot of his legacy of being a fan favorite by doing what he did, taking the money.
Especially coming off of like a PGA championship last August.
And what he said about the situation was just so uninformed most of the time.
Big day for him today, though.
Yeah, big win for him this morning.
His squad got a big win.
Huge win at 5 a.m. this morning. Good. I've liked all this picks so far. I'm taking a guy. He'd probably be taking a lot of years on this list. I'm taking Vlad Putin. Got to get him on here. Invaded Ukraine. Can't do that. You just can't go in there and try to take down a sovereign nation essentially for no reason. I think we all understand that. We all get that. We all understand that. So, and to be honest, if we're going to take it a step further, if you're Russia, if you're going to go in there, you got to go get the job done. And Ukraine has just put them in a pretzel. So, just more fight, more tact, more strategy, more
dog in them,
more character. And so, something that's become, obviously the dominant political storyline of the year worldwide and has affected a whole lot of things and continues to be a very hot topic with the stuff that happened with the missile last week. You're right. This is becoming very political. Vlad's a turkey. Vlad thinks it's 1985 for, 79. He thinks he's just going to have Russia as, a global superpower. And he's going to roll into former Soviet republics or Soviet, occupied places and take them down. And Vladimir Zelensky and the Klitschko brothers and the Ukrainians were just like, nah, fam. See ya.
Didn't one of the Klitschko's date Hayden Panettiere for like a long time?
Correct. Yes.
Man, imagine if they were married and she was like on the front line.
She was just in Ukraine. Yeah, she's in Ukraine.
She's there. It's like Remember the Titans all over again. She's standing up yelling on the bleachers.
Yeah. So take a lap, Vlad. You're a turkey. You stink. I think we can all agree on that one.
Yes, we can. That was on my board.
We disavow Putin.
And you laid out the reasons perfectly as well, because when I was thinking about my explanation for Putin, it was going to be just as much about him going into Ukraine and just getting kind of pushed around the ring a little bit.
Absolutely pushed around the ring.
Yeah.
Pushed around the ring. Oh, I'm just going to, the country will fall in 48 hours.
He does like 25 years of flexing muscles and riding on horses shirtless and scoring 11 goals and doing his Putin thing. And then when push comes to shove, he's pretty much a nobody.
Yeah. Well, now I will say, I don't want
Putin.
I don't want to, no need to, put other, type of things he can do with his arsenal on the table here. No. But I mean, Vlad, he got pushed around the ring, and shout out to the Ukrainians. What a battle!
Yep.
Heroes of the year. RDT, you have two.
I'm gonna go Coach K. What a turkey going out the way he did. What a fucking turkey! Like, I mean, and you can have your pick. You can have the senior night with his the speeches after. I mean, that was unbelievable. And what did he say to the crowd when he's like, no, No, shut up. Don't no. Like that whole thing was great. And then like fast forward 3 weeks later to them losing in the Final Four. Was it Final Four, Elite Eight, or just in the
Final
tournament?
Four.
Was it Final
It was
Four?
Final Four.
Tough.
Yep.
Just
It
tough.
was
You
the
hate
late
to
game
see it.
too. They really like propped it up and put it on.
Yeah, he
for
lost to Duke
Saturday
again.
at
I mean, he
9
lost to Duke
p.m.
twice. He lost to UNC twice. UNC won the two biggest games of the series in the last 100 years.
He's under 500 against them in his career now.
He walked out. He walked out of the school. Say what you want. I mean, an amazing legacy for Coach K. Tons of titles. He walked out of the. He walked out of the school with the rival having two of the great one-ups, an incredible two-ups.
And it's not like it was Roy Williams doing it. It was Hubert Davis. No offense to Hubert Davis.
Hubie
Hubert
D.
Davis.
Hubie D.
I mean, it's
Hubert
D.
Davis, who earlier in the year people thought was going to get fired. Thought they was going to get fired. They were thinking of replacements for the guy. Now he's got the number one team in the country.
Former Wizard, great. I mean,
unbelievable.
It's just a tough way for Coach K to go out. I think he's just
and then to have a program that really does it the right way, like Kansas, win the title after that is just
just the
This should have gone higher. It wasn't on my board, and it absolutely should have been number one on my board. This is a great pick.
It's Coach K. I mean, it's just again that senior night over and over. I replay that in my head all the time. Like that awkward speech and his grandkids, and just gobble gobble, baby. Like that's when I think of a turkey
stuff.
I think Coach K. So good to see him gone. My next one will be. Oh, I think I can get him later. I'll go whoever didn't vote for Brendan Hyde Manager of the Year. Clowns, all of them. Clowns.
The voters.
The the media, the big J's.
The nameless, faceless voters.
Someone, I think, who was it? Someone I think had compared to what he did with the Orioles this year as like riding a bicycle while juggling chainsaws on fire, which I think is pretty accurate. And there were people who were like, no, Tito deserved it more. So I don't have time to get into it with the whole city of Cleveland again. Those annoying fucking midges. But
oh boy,
I said it during the ALDS. Cleveland sucks and they're annoying. But
they sold at the deadline. Like when you talk about a team and what their true expectations and their trajectory of where they are as a franchise in terms of their rebuild and everything, like they sold. So that should tell you everything you know about what the team was supposed to accomplish. And then you look at what it was, 83 and 79.
Yep.
Beautiful season.
No, I was told though by Cleveland fans and even some Oriole fans that just because the Orioles were bad last year, that doesn't mean that this is more impressive. That just means that he did a shitty job last year. That's what I was told. I was also told that Cleveland was the youngest team in baseball and no one had predicted them to win, but they won 80 games last year and the Orioles were the fourth youngest team in baseball. So, all right, Cleveland, good. You're on this list twice basically. So fuck off, buddies. Brandon Hyde should have been manager of the year. Not that it matters. Doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things like Putin and all that other stuff. But anyone who didn't vote for my manager of the year.
Good pick. Good picks. This has been I've disagreed with no pick so far. And I think this is it's a recent one. It's a clear one. I'm taking Ticketmaster.
Yep.
You have to get Ticketmaster here. I don't think it's getting back to me. Just such a total disaster for the Swifties out there, just trying to figure out a way to get in the ball game to get some tickets. Like not even, not everyone's getting tickets at face value. There's a finite amount of tickets, but for the self-proclaimed master of said tickets, for them to not be able to build a system that doesn't crash every single time there is high demand for the queen of the world, Taylor Swift, and her performances, something has to be done. And Taylor's statement about it was like getting attacked by a bear. And she is going to decentralize this shit, and she is going to build her own ticket platform. And we're just going to build. we're gonna buy tickets off SwiftTickets.com next time. Taylor tickets from Taylor. It's a joke. Get it right, Ticketmaster. And then for Ticketmaster CEO to come out and be like, oh, it's because she hasn't performed in 3 years and blah, 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 blah. Don't come on. What a bad. I don't know who's doing PR at Ticketmaster, but that's a terrible move. You can't attack the artist. That's who people care about. People don't care about your company until they're paying $45 in service fees to pay for their tickets to the nosebleeds. You stink, Ticketmaster. You've always stunk, and something needs to be done.
There's going to be
I'm a SeatGeek guy. I'm a everybody else guy besides Ticket. And by the way, this Ticketmaster's always been bad. Like this Ticketmaster, and everyone knows Ticketmaster. It's like it's a company no one ever wants to deal with, but you're just forced to deal with it.
There's
And
every
every
fire song written about Ticketmaster by Taylor.
Ticketmaster owes me $180 that has just been in the never for a month and a half from some tickets I sold.
They'll be learning that karma is also a cat, just like Kanye West at some point.
They told me to take a trace number and I should go track it down and talk to my bank about where that payment is. It's like, no, you have the $180. Your system literally says payment pending. I'm the one inconvenienced. I shouldn't have to lift a finger to get my money. Fucking
my money, and I want it now. I need it now.
Correct.
Such the worst. Just the worst. I honestly almost took it too. Just terrible.
I also almost took it in my first round of picks.
Just atrocious. Thanks.
I kind of thought that you would have a better rant about it, so I kind of left it be. So
that's fair. It's good for the show.
That's just good production.
Yeah. We don't talk about the picks beforehand.
This is this is another one where I could take a couple different things, but I'm taking Zach Wilson because what
and he was on mine.
Peak turkeyness. He is absolutely turkeying all over the place right now. His play obviously is what it is. I mean, he's not the first quarterback to come out and stink, but for him to come out and say that some of the things that he said post game and then not followed up with any of the right things is a joke. And you know, they're a football team that has potential to do some things. Some people are even painting that they could contend or something. I mean, that's not true. And some people are making their defense out to be like an all-time defense or something. Like they're good defense, but they're not like world beaters defensively. Anyways, they played pretty decent with Joe Flacco in there. And they have a guy who's gone out and done things. So if they want to put it together, they're still in position to go and at least try to make the playoffs here or like make something of their season. They have a guy to go do that with. And if you want to buy into the idea that they're defense first and, you know, ball possession and, you know, throw 25 times a game, like Joe Flacco's your guy for that. You know, like they're probably offensively doing a lot of things with all of these like governors in check, like in order to try to like conceal and protect Zach Wilson's psyche as a young quarterback and also try to do some things to help develop him or whatever. Like you could put Joe Flacco in and you can just say, hey, we're going to go try to score. And we know what this guy's capable of, what he can do. Here's what we can do with him. Let's go out and try to accomplish that. Like, so that's where I was like, oh, I could even take Robert Salah. But no, right now it's until Zach Wilson like says something that is the right thing to say, he's the bigger turkey without question.
He's and the worst part is they finally had some good vibes there.
Yeah.
Like they were like, oh, like maybe we're not a disaster.
No, they're the Jets.
They're just the same old Jets.
I had anyone who thought Zach Wilson was good. Because
I mean, here's the thing.
He stinks.
Based on what Salah said this week, they're going to move on from him.
You have to.
He that ended his career there, essentially. Like, I'm not committing to this guy as a starter. Like, if he's your future of your team and you figured it out,
number 2 pick in the draft,
he's done. He will not be the quarterback there next year. It would be stunning.
You move him. You go and get Derek Carr.
I kind of like Robbie Salah too. I think he's pretty good.
I like him.
I do too.
I like him.
Yeah.
Your comments though about what he said and everything, and that was obviously the big thing. You just compare what he said to, and again, everyone's doing this to what Justin Fields said, where he was like apologizing to the defense in the locker room after the game with a dislocated shoulder, and a guy who's been playing his ass off the last 5-6 weeks, you know, being like, hey, this one's on me. And then you got Zach Wilson, pretty boy in a headband, being like, nope, I didn't do anything wrong. So yeah, he is rubbing everyone the wrong way. He is just, I mean, he's killing his career. And again, he's just, I don't think he's very good. And like you said, they got a guy back there who can sling it, and they got a starting quarterback who they picked number 2 overall who can't hit a check down. So he's bad. It's a good pick.
You got another one.
Yes, I do. I'm gonna dip my toes back into the political sphere here a little
Let's
bit.
go.
And I want to be clear a little bit. I want to be clear that I'm not taking him or his year or whatever, but I'm taking Joe Biden for falling off his bike.
Joey
Falling off
B.
his bike.
Uncle Joey?
So, all right, let's lay out the scenario a little bit. All right.
Oh,
Let's
man.
call a spade a spade. It doesn't matter what side you're on.
You want
We
him to
know
give the
what
election back.
equation of him being elected was. It was, here's a guy, and then here's anybody. And we're going to run them against each other, and we're going to try to make the anybody win. All right. And anybody in this scenario is obviously Joe Biden. So Joe Biden goes and wins the election. He just turned 80. He just turned 80 the other day. Like, I don't want to go on an attack on our president, but he's there. There have been sharper minds at given points in time than anyways, his job was just to kind of get the guy out of the office. So he's in the office, and his opposition thinks he's a pea brain and that he's, a rotting brain that just can't think of anything. And so his one job is just kind of be propped up and just be there for appearances and look the part. So the one thing you can't do is go on a bike and fall directly off of it the way he did. Like, he just can't do it. Like, I know his job is like the toughest job, the biggest job, the most powerful job on the planet. But when you think about in the big scheme of things for what the one side wants him to accomplish, it's really for him to just be there.
Uncle
And
Bird,
don't look like an old fart. And you couldn't look like more of an old fart than he did in falling off his bike there.
Shout out Rehoboth.
It was a tough look.
It's a tough look. It's a tough look.
We didn't need our guy going down there. That's not the strength.
It's a bad
we
look
want
for
to throw out to.
America. It's a bad look for America.
It would have been bad for any of them. It's so funny though, because the first episode of The West Wing is Jed Bartlett falling off his bike.
Yeah.
History repeats itself.
Yeah. I think he falls off his bike. Is it a bike accident? I think that's what it is. He does something of the sort. Such a good show. Rewatching right now. Let me get back to my list. Did not expect Biden to get taken in this draft. I will say that, but I forgot about the bike thing. A couple ways I could go here. I'm getting this guy because I've never been there. I'm taking Novak Djokovic. Excuse me.
He's on my list, and I wasn't sure what to call him a turkey for this particular year. He's just a general turkey. So
he's just a turkey. Novak is a turkey. Like, he started the COVID Central Tennis League, back during that, and everyone got COVID. And then this year, he's like fighting to get into Australia and the US. And it's like, bro, like, get a vaccine. Like, it's okay. Doesn't get one, whatever. He's naturally immune or whatever since having it, I guess. But he's just got to be on my team. He's just generally always a turkey to me. The worst part about him, and here's a little bit of a hedge. He then gives like the speeches after he wins Wimbledon, and he comes off as very likable a lot of the time, but he just cannot separate it from his massive turkeyness. So he's a bit of a two-faced turkey. He just stinks. So I'm getting Novaks on my team.
It's a good pick.
RDT.
He just won the ATP finals though.
He did, and he's back for Australia. He got a visa, so he's gonna be back in all of them next year. So
I was talking tennis.
Yeah, God, we do low key. Are you a tennis guy, RDT?
Nah, not really. I mean, I'll watch it.
Me and Banks kind of low key tennis guys. I would say
it's a fun gamble. Which sports books tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think we're gonna talk about that in the Nick Cantor medley.
May give away a pick.
Yeah.
Klay Thompson and the SB voters. I'm going after everyone who votes for awards. Klay Thompson winning comeback player of the year over Trey.
Okay.
Turkey.
It's the
It's
ESPYs. I mean,
The
what do you
voters.
want?
It's just like it's the manager of the year. I'm fine with it. It's whatever. But it was also who was the WNBA player? Diamond? No. The lady who had like a tumor too.
Yeah, I can't remember her name.
It's
in there somewhere.
It was a heart-wrenching story, but it's like, Clay, dude, you tore your Achilles and you tore your ACL. Like don't miss me with that sob story shit, buddy. Like, you're a loser. You're a bum. Warriors stink. They're not as bad as the Lakers, but yeah. So again, the SB voters, whoever it is, I don't even know. I don't care who votes for it. Them and Clay Thompson, and then my last one, Aaron Boone, Turkey of the Year. Just the fucking, I mean, born with a fucking silver spoon up his ass. And they're gonna win 158 games, and it's the greatest team that's ever been assembled. And Judge is gonna hit 88 home runs, and this is gonna be the year for 28. And then he pisses down his.
Did I mute him?
Sorry, I think I got muted somehow. Sorry. So
well, I was trying to figure out how to kick you, but I can't figure that out.
So they're gonna win, 158 games and win all.
I'm still trying to figure that out. Though.
Win everything, and then they just piss down their leg like no one has pissed down their leg before in the second half. They just
you're a co-host.
Steamrolled.
Damn it!
Steamrolled in the ALCS. I mean,
how the heck do I get you out of here? How do I kick you out?
Fight, no nothing. They couldn't do a damn thing, and Booney is just excusing himself away again. If that guy hits a double instead of a home run, he's working at a fucking Kinko's right now. Like,
I mean, that's horrible. All right, okay. I've had enough of that. He's a baseball man. He's always been a good baseball man. He's a great communicator, and all the guys want to come back and play for him.
He's not.
Rizzo's already
resigned over Aaron Boone.
Kiner Falefa's already resigned, and it's just a matter of time. And it's just a matter of time before the judge freaking come to order or whatever the heck. Rise.
Listen.
It's just a matter of time before he resigns. If
I ever get any more shit for being a Titans fan on this podcast, I want to bring this part back up where Taylor is full on fellatioing the Yankees right now. I want that on the record. I want that on here.
Oh, I know exactly what he's doing right now.
Is he putting on his pinstripes?
Yeah, basically.
All right, we're screenshotting this bad boy. Gonna hold on to this one.
Yeah, there's no one doing this one.
Wait, can you do that again?
Nope. Booney.
Oh, well, okay. It's not even like we don't have this recorded or anything. Loser.
I'm fine going with Boone. I'm fine going. I would root against Booney, obviously, for the Orioles. I'm an Orioles fan through and through, but I have become this is Pinstripe Taylor. This is I am an Aaron Boone guy. I've become an Aaron Boone guy. It's one of the great bits that I've come up with to make my pal Ben Kessler absolutely miserable, giant Yankee fan. I've just become an Aaron Boone apologist, and I will continue to do that on the show because I'm not a fraud, and I will do it in all spaces. Aaron Boone got screwed by Cashman. Bring in some more players. Need some more talent.
Need more talent.
It's not his fault. Garrett Cole can't pitch without the tack.
Runs this year.
Can't win in baseball with one player. Just ask Mike Trout.
I would rather have Brandon Hyde over Aaron Boone. In a do or die one. Like,
let me tell you what I love Brandon Hyde. If it doesn't work out, would love to see Aaron Boone in the Camden Yards dugout.
Yeah, maybe he can sell hot dogs. Maybe he can.
Oh, stop! And by the way, have a little respect for Kinko's, which I don't even think exists anymore.
Yeah, I was gonna say Kinko's.
Those are like FedEx stores
right now.
Yeah, that's horrible for Kinko's.
Good, then he won't have a job.
I have a lot of negative things to say about a lot of businesses that are over in that Southside marketplace, but the UPS store that's over there is lovely. The staff in there is got lots of energy. They're so
what is this?
Congenial. Yeah.
Right.
It is true. That Southside marketplace continues to have horrible businesses. But that's good to hear.
Turns it around.
How did we get here?
Is it going to be a Giant?
Oh, it's a Giant. It just opened.
Oh, just okay. I hadn't been over there. So,
and we're getting a Five Below.
That's good, and Southside Diner is good.
It is great.
Five Below does. I'm too bougie for Five Below.
Whoa, Five Below is my dad's biggest client, so throw some respect.
No, I just said I need to spend more than $5 for things to feel alive.
Yeah, is that my dad's a lawyer?
I'm
so.
fine with Five Below. I've been to the Five Below. I've been to the Five Below in
Shout out
in
Zany
Ocean City.
Brainy, Zany Brainy as well. You remember those?
Yeah.
Also one of my dad's biggest clients back in the day, right? But fuck Aaron Boone. Gobble.
I can't wait to go to that Giant. One more pick for me. After the clown show that I just had to deal with there. Oh man,
Looney sweatshirt, like a fucking simp.
Okay, you need to calm down. I do I go full circle on this guy and really throw in my new opinion about him? No, I think this is more fun. I'm taking Will Smith. What a joke. Ruins the biggest moment of his life. Yeah, and I'm a big Will Smith guy. Welcome to Miami. I'm
Wiki Wawa.
Wiki wow. Getting jiggy with it. Nah.
Always we did a
Will
starting
Smith.
5 of Will Smith things. I forgot about that.
Oh yeah.
Wiki wah. Wad West, Jim West, Desperado.
Rough Rider.
Rough Rider.
That song is so good.
That song.
Good.
He has a ton of good songs. You can't go slap Chris
who
Rock.
you gonna call?
You can't do that at the Oscars. Go talk to the guy after. Let's be a little mature. He's like a 5-year-old. I know he insulted your wife. Whatever him and Jada are, which just seems to be up for debate. Allegedly. I just have to get Will. I have to get Will in the squad. I'm more disappointed in Will Smith because I like Will Smith and I've always liked I love Fresh Prince and it's a show I've seen every episode of and whatever. I'm taking Will. Yeah, he's by the way, is in a movie this year he may be nominated for Emancipation on Apple, which I think comes out in a few weeks on Apple TV Plus. He's like apparently amazing in it, and he can't attend, but he could be nominated. He's also a producer on the movie, so he could be nominated for Best Picture and Best Actor.
He can't attend because he lost his what? He
withdrew from the Academy.
Right. Yes, that's what it is.
Or resigned from the Academy, so he can't. And he's banned for 10 years, I think, from the ceremony, but he can still be voted for awards. What an organization! The motion picture film or whatever they're called Academy is. Just ban him from the ceremony. He can still win awards. It's all about the art. We don't want to penalize everyone else that makes a Will Smith movie. What a weird business. But yeah, Big Willie style on the team. Finish it off, Banks.
I'm taking Jason La Canfora as long as he's on the airwaves here in Baltimore. He's going to be a turkey of the year.
Damn it.
Well, you had to get your Aaron Boone rant off, RDT, so you couldn't take that. So karma's a cat.
That's Brady in the 6th again.
Go ahead, Banks.
That's it. I mean, that's the entire rant. He's had peak moments of turkey behavior, and he didn't really have like a seminal one this year, but he will continue to be a turkey of the year on my draft board as long as he continues to get a microphone here in Baltimore.
He's been quiet lately too. I haven't seen him at all. I do have him muted on Twitter, but I haven't. It's like stuff will still like usually
maybe that's why you haven't seen him.
No, but stuff will leak through. Like stuff will find its way.
CBS stuff. He's out at CBS, so now he's a Washington Post guy.
That's true. Yeah.
That's the turkeys of the year. RDT took Kyrie, Coach K, the voters, Klay Thompson, and this last pick's redacted. I took Kanye West, Vladimir Putin, Ticketmaster, Novak Djokovic, and Will Smith, and Banks took Jimmy Haslam, Phil Mickelson, Zach Wilson, Joe Biden, falling off the bike, and Jason La Canfora. Great draft until the 13th pick. And then after the 13th pick, it was good as well. Honorable mentions for me, Antonio Brown. Did have Deshaun Watson on there, but he took Haslam, so I think we covered that ground. I had Live Golf as an organization. Whoopi Goldberg, another person, RDT, that you should not be a big fan of. Really,
there's a couple of them who are big fans of me. So
we had a tough year for that.
Yeah, that's Julie's had a rough one.
Johnny Depp and Amber Heard just didn't care.
Oh, that was this
clowns. That was this year, yeah.
No, I'll one up you. The people who cared about the trial, like who were live tweeting, those people are worse than Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. Fuck them.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
I had a late breaking one. The guy that just got ousted, Bob Chapek, as the CEO of Disney by the guy that he replaced, Bob Iger, just came back and said, "We'll absolutely see ya." That's a tough beat to lose to the guy who succeeded. And I would like to also comment that I'm showing restraint by not putting another person that I constantly talk about on the show as a turkey. I don't believe he is a turkey. Mr. Trout, you are not a turkey.
Wow, big. That's big of you.
Yep. Who do you guys have?
I had George Washington. The dollar is worth less than ever. Bad year for the dollar.
Yeah, it's fair. Really, all of the currencies, but Washington is the guy that he's the face of it.
Attacking every president tonight. Jesus.
I got Tom Brady for retiring and then unretiring, and then just getting absolutely tossed on the street and kind of playing poorly and making the whole comeback look pretty like a waste of time.
Good one. It's a good one too.
I was surprised nobody just took FIFA or Qatar.
I was thinking about it.
Like Sepp Blatter, it's a 2006 or whatever year.
It feels too consistent that they're there every year. Trying to take it more specific to the year that you could take that every year.
It's like shitting on the NCAA. Like you can always find a way to do it.
Yeah, I mean, this year specifically chose to World Cup in a country that's clearly not ready to do it and has tragic human rights and the variety of other things wrong with what's going on, which Fox is just doing PR for the tournament. I mean, they're not talking about any of the issues, but so.
And then my last one was Russell Wilson.
Thought about Russ.
Good
one. I had State of Maryland for dragging its feet just to get the sports gambling thing going.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like, we're here now, so it's kind of like I'll kind of kiss and make up. For some reason, I don't know why, I just have the Turgeonites. Tough luck, tough year.
More of that happened.
That was technically last year.
Yeah, I know
it was
last
December.
year.
It was technically December. Yeah,
but post Thanksgiving.
Good pick though.
Yeah, I was just thinking earlier, and I'm like, yeah, fuck those guys. So them, and then Banks. I'll put this one on a T for you. We know who the real turkey is.
Yeah.
We know. Taylor, you know.
We know. Do I know?
Yeah, we know who the real turkey is.
I don't know if I know.
Oh.
Where did that joke originate?
I don't know, but PFT.
That's one of those ones that's just like
he delivers every time. When they went to the turkey farm, that's so good. I don't know. Maybe I'll try and get to the bottom of that tonight. I'm not gonna sleep, so I'll do some recon on that. Yeah, that's it though.
Did you have any more turkeys, Taylor?
No, that was it. Those were all mine. I named them off. I wish sometimes it's just, I'm sure there are ones that will like come to my head. Sometimes it's hard to like recap the whole year in your head. So I was trying to like rip them off, and I was like searching just like for things around the internet just to like jog my memory.
Same, and I couldn't figure out what the right keywords were.
I'm searching I'm searching biggest turkeys of 2022, and it's all hunting websites.
It's all like mayor. It's all mayors like pardoning their turkeys and shit like that.
Yeah. It was Biden pardoning all your turkeys. So
yeah.
Like I wish I know there's people that have like made comments this year that I thought were stupid, and I just can't think of them right now.
Yeah.
Good draft though. I think we were kind of on the same page all there, which is fun.
We're not quite there with PTI yet, but we'll get there.
We'll get there. Yeah. I'm going to try to like write them down as I go through the year next year. I think that's my goal. So when we do this next year,
we should have like a midterm turkey of the year.
Yeah. Midterm. Yeah. Check up maybe a turkey of the year race. We got people vote every week.
That's what they want to do.
Thank you to yeah. That's what to be locked into every Tuesday or Wednesday. Nick Kidder Medley, Maryland person of the week. I will go first. The World Cup has returned, and despite FIFA's best efforts, it's still a fantastic tournament. And the U.S. with a disappointing draw to Wales yesterday was kind of sad because I think they played a great first half, really could have been in control and gave away a silly penalty. But still a chance to get out of the group. And the World Cup's fun. So can't wait for the United States in 4 years. That should be fantastic. So as long as FIFA doesn't screw up the world game, but we'll see what happens.
They have to draw on Friday, right? They have to.
No, no, they don't, because they can lose and then they just can't get beat big, because if they can
Can't
lose
lose
and
score nothing.
Wales beats Iran and then England beats Wales, then they can run up the score on Iran and get through on goal difference. Or if yeah, I mean, a draw on Friday would put them in tremendous shape.
A draw is basically it's a win. It's a win.
I think so, because if you then beat Iran and get to 5, it's going to be unlikely that Wales then comes out and beats England.
Mhm.
And I mean, they can still get to 5 too, I guess, if they beat Iran and then draw England as well. But yeah, I think a draw would be, then it brings England back into play too as a team that you could also finish ahead of. So, and then a win is one of the great moments in the history of U.S. soccer. So.
A win in the group stage.
Yeah, a win in the group stage against England. Because then you're in the total driver's
Bigger,
seat.
bigger than the didn't they draw Portugal?
It would be bigger than that. If they beating England would be way bigger than drawing Portugal. Yeah. I mean, they were beating Portugal. They
they choked.
They lost in the last moment of the game. Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing ball from Ronaldo out from like 35 yards, and he curled in and they got headed in. So love the World Cup. Brings people together. It's fun. Makes people care about soccer for a little bit too. RDT. Oh no. I mean, you hate to see this lack of preparation.
We're just gonna go we're gonna go short work weeks. I think this is the best work week of the year. The week of Thanksgiving. Because it's just you got Monday, you got Tuesday, tomorrow's basically a half day, and then you're done. So that's what I'm chalking it up to, is my Nick Hainer medley short work weeks. Thank God, especially when you have when your daughter's been sick for a week and now you're getting it. And she's been with you watching Shark Dog in the back of all your calls all week. We're done with that tomorrow. Let's go.
Yeah. Thanks.
I'm going to take the star of the show. I'm going to take the focal point of the Thanksgiving dinner. I'm not going to stand here and stand for turkey slander from RDT. He's on Twitter just absolutely slandering the main attraction.
Yep.
And listen,
not good.
I understand that the sides are of high value. They bring a ton to the table. And I'm not here also to say that turkey is like the best meat or the best this or the best that, but it's damn good, especially on Thanksgiving.
To me,
if you disagree, whoever's making your turkey is just doing it wrong.
Yeah.
Probably.
That's my way to look at it.
A turkey is your offensive line that allows your quarterback and your skill position players to flourish. It's just, if you have a great turkey, it's just that base of the meal that just really makes the whole thing go. I couldn't agree with this more. I couldn't agree with this great comparison. It's an all pro. Couldn't agree with this more. And I like the other meats. Like, I like a ham. I love a good ham.
Yes.
But
who doesn't?
I don't know. That's a great question too. But turkey slander, and some of it was happening in the office today, so I'm glad you said this, Banks. I cannot stand for it. Turkey is very, very good.
Get a good moist turkey.
What do you eat on Thanksgiving, RDT?
People don't appreciate dark meat the way that they should. And also, you go to the turkey as your dad or whoever the man of the house is. You know, I'm not the man of the house. Is carving that thing, and there's all kinds of little pieces to pick off of that are the juicy, flavorful with your seasoning and all that good stuff. That is primo turkey right there.
I'll go tenderloin. I'll eat the tenderloin on Thanksgiving.
Tenderloin's a Christmas dinner type of tenderloin and prime rib.
Do it on Christmas too, buddy.
You got yellow Laffy Taffy in there too in that meal. Doing some gravy on that. What a joke!
Don't tempt me with a good time.
Oh my God, turkey is so good. Can't wait for it. You're a turkey, RDT. You may be one of the turkeys of the year for this take.
Yeah, many people I think would agree with that. So I think we're okay with that.
Any honorable mentions?
Kevin Willard.
Yeah, I was gonna give one to him too. One to him too.
That just seems easy.
Yeah, very much so. I'm gonna give an honorable mention to this week coming up in sports. Oh, mama. World Cup, 4 games a day for the next week. You got Feast Week. There's like 60,000 college basketball games, a lot of good ones. amazing NFL slate on Thursday.
What's yeah, that's right.
There's been better Thanksgiving slates, but
what
it's
is
still good.
Bills,
Lions, Cowboys,
Giants.
yes,
and Patriots, Vikings.
Yeah, that
It's
Patriots
pretty-
Vikings
It's good. It's good.
It's
I
pretty
don't,
good.
I don't
walk
want to
back
watch
what I
Mac
said a
Jones.
little-
I don't
I'll
want to
walk it
watch
back
Mac
a little
Jones
bit.
on Thanksgiving.
7-3
That's
Bills
fine,
against
too.
a frisky Lions team. I think that place will be going crazy. You got 2 7-3 teams in the Cowboys slot. There might be 70 million people watching that game. The NFL has got to be salivating. And then Patriots are good, and the Vikings are good too.
I don't think the Patriots are good.
They're 6-4. I mean,
Yeah,
they're a
they're
team
not-
that matters right
They're
now.
not good.
And they're the
I also don't
Patriots.
think they're
People
good.
people are gonna root for Novak's Kirk Cousins against the Patriots because of the Patriots. It's gonna be electric. Justin Jefferson on Thanksgiving night.
Yeah, I'm
It's
going
a
against
great
him in
slate.
fantasy, so that's
Justin
not.
Jefferson laid.
It's
a bit of
really
an egg.
it's then you have Bengals Titans Sunday. You have the frisky Browns against the Bucks that are trying to stay ahead in the division. You have the suddenly life-filled Commanders against the Falcons. It's kind of a fun. The Panthers against the Broncos in a game that won.
You're selling
game
me
that-
on Commanders Falcons right now. Like we can,
No, I'm just
we
saying.
can reel it back a little bit.
in an NFL where everybody beats everybody. I mean, these are kind of fun games. What's going to happen with the Zach Wilson controversy against Justin Fields? The worst game of the day is Broncos Panthers, which not a single soul will watch other than Sierra. And then the rest of the, it's fun. Packers Eagles on Sunday night.
By the way, did you see there was one of those like very obviously fake tweets that was like, oh, breaking news. Like I'm told from multiple sources inside the Broncos locker room that Melvin Gordon was released today after playing nonstop Future songs in the locker room after Russell Wilson had asked him several times to stop. And then like there were people retweeting it being like, I don't know if this is real or not, but could you imagine? It's like, fucking course it's not real, but very funny to think about. It's so good. Very
Better alive.
Oh shit!
Oh,
I'm so in on my turkeys. Let me go to my list. Like we got a list for this. Who did I do last week? I don't think I highlighted it to mark it off. Celeb Dead or Alive tab on my handy dandy Google sheet. Did I do Richard Simmons last week?
Yes.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
I got it wrong.
Let me see. We'll go Bob Barker.
He's alive, baby.
Yeah, he hasn't died yet.
That would be national news. There would be coverage of it like it was a president.
Gotta be alive.
He would be
He's
laying
98. He's 98.
He would be laying in front of the
Would
wheel.
love for Bobby to get to 100. By the way, did this happen this year? Turkey of the year.
That's a good point.
People magazine for putting out the Betty White turns 100 magazine, then her dying a week later before she got to 100.
That was the New Year's. I think that was New Year's Eve last year.
I think it was January or something.
Stunning.
I think she
Stunning
died on New Year's
Turkey-ish.
Eve.
Did I actually should have that on my list?
Betty.
She died. Yeah, she died New Year's Eve.
Yep.
That's tough.
Sad.
That's
Brutal.
tough. Well, she's on the dead list.
Yeah. Sad. Good one, Bob. Bobby. Get to 100, Bob. Would love that.
Shout out Bob.
The price is wrong,
legend.
Bobby.
Price
That's
is
the best.
wrong, Bobby.
That's the best edited like line in any movie ever.
It really is.
When it's on TV and he just goes, Bobby. Like
Bobby.
it's so great.
That's the X52 podcast for this Thanksgiving week. I think we can end the show by saying we are so thankful for all the listeners of this show, all the supporters of this show, all the people that have been in from day one or that are listening to their first episode this week. Very much appreciate the ratings, the reviews, the tweets, the interactions on all the interactions on social media, all the people that see us in person and tell us they love the show. It means a lot, and we very much appreciate it.
Did you see there was a very positive review left about the pandas and someone I think was trying to play you guys?
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I didn't
review.
see that.
I think there was a
Did not
challenge
see
issue.
it. Was that on iTunes or something?
I believe so.
By the way, great way to finish the show, mentioning the Pandas, which we did not talk about somehow in the Nick Cantor medley. Another title.
That felt like weeks ago, but yeah.
Yeah, got it done.
5 days ago.
3 games on Thursday night.
A frigid Thursday night.
Frigid Thursday night. I came in midway through the title game. Hard to play defense. Yeah, I wasn't out there for long, unfortunately.
I think we gave up 5 runs per game in the playoffs defensively. I mean, that's
you'll
just
take
elite cup in hand kickball.
It's what the Pandas do. We lost in the Flip Cup final to a team that had been there for like 4 hours and was absolutely feeling themselves. So good, fair play to them for winning. They probably deserved it over us.
Yeah, honorable mention the phrase "fair play," by the way. And
yeah,
just the sentence this morning from one of the first sentences one of the analysts said right after the game was like, "Absolutely fair play to Saudi Arabia." And that's just a sentence you're never going to hear otherwise.
Yeah, fair play is a very fun thing to say. Yeah, the Pandas are one of the great wagons.
I can read the review right now. It's from Littleton T or T Littleton.
Okay.
Pandas kickball, 5-star review. Pandas should look into playing in the Kickball League of Baltimore. Thursday league on the turf at Patterson Park has some of the best competition. Love the pod. So
wow, 2-hander cup in hand.
They did not say T Littleton. Shoot the
shoot us a DM on the XV too. Yeah, we'll go out there, or we'll just play the champion of that league. Because our issue is Patterson Park's a bit of a hike for everybody on our team, but we would figure something out maybe.
I mean,
so
if we can go down and dominate the District of Columbia as a whole, like
I mean, we've won the whole damn region. So yeah, shout out to the squad. Obviously, Mr. Black here, Alex Carroll, Mike Myers, Keegan Long, Grace Bacon, Anthony Meek, Ryan Lee, Ian Bacon, Brian Gibbons, Jimmy Carr, Christy Fury, Cassie Mann, Kyle Rajat, Ashley Wood, Lexi Moore.
Ooh.
Big time. Did I mess her last name up? Miller.
Miller.
Is that Miller? There's no way that's
like Bill Miller, right?
Bill Miller's.
Oh, sorry to Lex. How about that?
Watch feed for me one time, buddy.
I've been thinking Mueller the entire time. I've never heard her say Miller. Oh, interesting. Okay.
She's quick to correct on it too.
Oh, so I've just never said her last name to her. Probably smart. That's probably me just not knowing how to pronounce things and just saying Lexi every single time. Smart move by me. And Monica PhD, sub player from a couple weeks ago. She also gets a piece of the title.
That took me a second.
Yeah. So shout out to the squad. It's different every single year. Follow us at Pandas Win on Instagram. We have some teams making their own Instagram accounts. I mean, we're just trendsetters, the Pandas. Just trendsetters. That's enough for this week's episode of XQ2 Podcast. Like I said, from myself, Banks and RDT, very thankful for all the listeners. Follow us on all of our social media, XQ2 Podcast. Follow Banks at Barstool Banks. Follow RDT at EDITTI22. You can follow me at Taylor Smite 10. Support all our sponsors, Jimmy Seafood, Fed Thrill, Thread Level Midnight. Thankful to all of them. Little B continues to get up on.
It's a hell of a swim move by Brian right there.
Yeah, that was a great job of staying the screen.
Hovering the mouse to stop the recording, and he's licking my index finger. So I had to swim move him there.
He's going to need to get out of there because that was the X52 podcast presented by Jimmy's Seafood.
This is great.